I'm Lieutenant Paul M. Schaefer of Washington, Indiana, 67th Tactical Reconnaissance Wing. We're here at Freedom Village today in Munsuny, Korea, to interview a returned Air Force prisoner. I'd like to introduce you now to that prisoner. Would you introduce yourself, Ed?
My name is Edward R. Collins. I'm from Jackson, Michigan, 1256 Bird Avenue. My mother's name is Mrs. Dorothy Warren. And that's about all I have to say to introduce myself.
How long has it been now, Ed, since you've been home?
Well, last time I was home was 26th November of 1950.
You were captured May 20th, 1951, is that right?
Yes, that's right, sir.
In other words, you're up there a little over 2 years.
Yes, sir, 27 months.
Tell us what your job was when you were captured. What were you doing?
I was a ground controller for the fighter and bombers, for ground support for infantry.
I see. You called in fighter bomber strikes then on the enemy near the front line, right?
Yes, on the enemy position.
You tell us the circumstances surrounding your capture.
Well, it happened the night of the 16th. They broke through our left flank, and they got surrounded us, and we had one way out was a mountain pass, and they more or less cut us off, and we couldn't get our vehicles out of the mountain pass, and we had to leave our vehicles and take for the hills. And we went for 3 days in the hills trying to get through their lines, which didn't work, and then after 3 days, on the 20th, quarter to 6, I was captured with my senior officer.
I see. You had the enviable position of being the only Air Force man in your camp, is that right?
That's right, sir.
Did you notice any different treatment given you as a result of your being in the Air Force rather than in the Army?
No, sir.
Treatment was no different.
No different.
Have you ever heard of Air Force personnel, particularly pilots, being given rougher treatment from the other people?
Yes, I was told by a captain from Camp 2 that they was treating the pilots pretty rough. That's just what he told me. I don't know what's in it, but that's just what he told me.
Well, Ed, is there anything you'd like to say to the people back home? Maybe your girl, Carol Lee. Would you like to say something to her?
I'd like to say hello to Carol Lee, and I'll be seeing you soon, sweetheart.
Well, nice to have you home, Ed. Thank you very much.
Let's have your name and your hometown.
Martin Roy from Mesa, Arizona.
What do the fellows call you?
Just Rolly.
Roy? Roy, how long were you in Chinese prison camps?
32 months and 19 days.
What camp were you in?
Well, I started out, I've been in 5 camps altogether. I started out in a place we call the mining camp, called Death Valley.
Was that just after you were captured?
Just after I was captured, 20 days after.
And then where'd you go?
I went to Camp it's Camp 5.
And from there?
Went to Camp 3,
No.
Camp 2, and then Camp 1.
Why do they move you around so much? Yes, sir. Tell me, Roy, why do they move you around so much?
Well, I guess because I didn't beat too much with them.
Well, how did you disagree with them?
Well, they started their indoctrination lectures and stuff, and I saw too many men die. Many of our buddies died back there go along with their line.
Do you ever take any overt action? Do you ever openly oppose the communists?
Well, really not openly. It's just some things I just said around the rooms and stuff. I guess just got to the chink on the...
What kind of things do you say?
Well, it's what any true American would say. At least anything that they would say.
Did you ever argue with the instructor during these political lectures?
Well, I've got a few times and maybe left the lecture or said bullshit or something, but as far as being violent, I wasn't.
Were you ever punished for this?
Well, I wouldn't say punished. I was moved around quite a
or anything like that? Did you ever try to talk to the progressives to tell them they were wrong?
Well, I wasn't very safe.
Why do you say that?
They always end up probably moving you somewhere else.
I mean, if you try to talk to the progressives and tell them they're wrong, why the Chinese would do something to it?
Well, they might threaten you in so many words and else they'll send you some other place.
What was the story on these progressives? How many were there? Were there a lot of progressives?
No, there was a very minority.
How many would you say? About 5%, 10%?
Maybe 5. Not even that much.
Real progressives.
Yeah.
How many of these people were what they called cheesies, I believe the prisoners called them?
Well, I've never run across one because I guess the one that ratted on me, I guess I was moved out too soon to find out who it was.
Did someone rat on you?
I don't know for sure. It's just my
Well, could you tell us more
idea of it. Well, it was during the time they were still having lectures and stuff, and I was already granted a reactionary by the instructors. It's just, I just moved out one day all of a sudden, and I figured somebody must have told me to be moved all of a sudden.
What happened to you?
I was put in sort of a jail for 20 days with 18 other men, and then moved to Camp 2, Annex from the officers' camp.
What was their crime? The other guys in prison with you?
Well, that's more or less the same line of mine was. Just maybe you're voicing your opinion the wrong way to them.
How did you people feel about the progressives and the informers?
They were very much disliked progressives and informers.
Did the people back in camp make any vows that they would get these guys when they got back to the States?
I've heard quite a few vows for guys to get progressives, and that
Do you think they'll go through with it?
some of them are very determined.
How about you?
Well, I can't say because I don't know who it was, if anybody did.
Tell me, Ronnie, what are you going to do when you get home?
Well, I figure I'll either stay in the service or go into school to take up diesel engineering.
Diesel engineering? You always wanted to be a diesel engineer?
Yes, I've had some diesel training in the Army.
How about the prison camp? Did you have any kind of studies there? Have two known reactionaries. In other words, reactionaries, the Chinese up at this prison camp these boys came from literally to the book at. The first one on my left is Corporal John L. Tyler of Moundsville, West Virginia. John, I don't know, we don't want to know a lot of things about you reactionaries. We haven't heard too much. First of all, how long were you up here? He was in the camp about 24 months. 24 months. In one camp? Yes. What was the camp? Camp 1. Camp 1. Before we go to the story, you've a lot of money, don't you? Yes, but do you have any idea what you're going to do with it when you get back home? Well, first thing, I'd like to buy me a new Buick, if possible. A new Buick, yes. Well, all your Buick dealers down in Moundsville, West Virginia, you better meet John when he comes in. He's a good customer. Well, how much money do you think you got coming? Well, I don't know just now. Do you have a girl in mind, too? No, no girls in mind. Not yet, no. So your girls down there in Moundsville, too. Take a good look at John. Pretty good looking fellow. Anyway, John, tell us something about your treatment here. You were a reactionary, I understand. That's true. Reactionary meaning you didn't buy the Chinese, the communist plan at all. That's true. Well, do you remember any punishment the Chinese gave you for not collaborating with them during the lectures? Yes, I do. I was interrogated once on a matter that the Chinese thought that there was CID, as Civil Investigation Department, connected with the Army. They thought they were in the camp undermining the communist lectures and so forth. And being one of the reactionaries, I was interrogated on this matter. And during the interrogation, which took place about 6 o'clock in the evening, And during that course, about 2 o'clock in the morning, after they saw that they weren't getting any place with me, the small pot was brought into the room and charcoal was lit and put in it. And from the fumes, I was gassed, and the last thing I remember before I passed out was being beat in the back by fists.
By fists?
Yes.
That charcoal was deliberately brought into the room?
I believe it was, yes.
Guys in the room with me.
They stayed for quite a while, then the commanding officer came back, and I was ordered to my room for rest, and I was in bed about 8 days.
As a result of that interrogation?
That's true.
Do you think that, we've heard a lot of addresses up there. Do you think that it's possibly a addresses that had turned you in?
Well, it's very possible, yeah.
Do you remember any specific times where you thought a addresses did turn you in or something?